Ramana Maharishi said, there is no greater teaching than the silence. He was not merely talking about the physical aspect, but also the psychological. The knowledge that is transmitted in silence is complete. It is a knowing that is not born out of thought. Therefore, thought is always limited, but knowing is complete. In the modern world, we've put so much emphasis on thought, that we forgot a dimension that is far bigger. And it is so close to us. It is the most intimate relationship. That vertical thought or vertical dimension is what Ramesh called I am. I am is completeness. To explain this, Ramesh used the symbol of cross, where the vertical bar is symbolized as the vertical thought I am, and the horizontal bar is the flow of thought as I am this and I am that. And where the two bars meet at the intersection is wholeness, completeness, or what Nisargadatta Maharaj called as supreme reality, the nominal. Another example is of the symbol of Shiva and Shakti, which is the same, where Nisargadatta Maharaj symbolized Shivling as the vertical thought I am. And the base where it rests is the flow or phenomenality, which takes place as I am this and I am that. Where the two meet is the supreme reality. The one without attributes, the one without qualities, the one without characteristics. This may sound very paradoxical, but when the unknowable, the dimensionless, the one without the attributes or without any qualities, the one that is not knowable gets known, then everything gets known. While I was traveling with a friend during my Mumbai retreat, we were crossing through villages, and my friend asked me, he said, Jagjot, you talk about the one, but I have to pay my bills. I have to support my wife and my children. I've got a family, my aging parents. And here I am, confused about the meaning of life, about the purpose of life. What am I supposed to do? And I responded with just one word, one answer. And I said, the one. And then there was no speaking through the rest of the journey as he was dropping me to Mumbai airport. But there was this beautiful synergy where I felt the pleasure that something had gone through the crack because my friend was in awe and wonder. I said, if the one gets known, everything gets known. But when we live with an image or an idea of ourselves as just the mind body organism in this vast universe, we feel small. We feel insignificant. And that is what masters have called Maya, or the illusion. Things appearing different from what they really are. When we buy something like a car or a new house, what do we see? Do we see the fancy new car? Or do we see an object that is composed of many other objects whose arrangement in a particular way have given rise to this abstraction that we call as a car or a home, which is made of bricks, wood, and other material? That abstraction remains as long as the objects agree with each other and are in arrangement. When the abstraction is considered to be real, we invest our sense of self in it, which creates suffering. An example is when humans accidentally bump into each other, they smile, say sorry, and move on, and may also laugh about it. But the same humans, when they're driving their cars and the cars bump into each other, there is anger, there's aggression, because the sense of self has invested into an object, which is an abstraction, an idea in the mind that it is of very high worth. Therefore, the small entity here thinks that its worth can be enhanced through the accumulation of objects like bigger homes or bigger cars. But when one can see beyond the abstraction, then it is not a problem. And you can enjoy the object. It is truly then that you're able to enjoy the object without investing your sense of self in it. You actually make the most of it because you know that it is a limited object with finite existence. The fancy house that we bought today may go to someone else tomorrow. I can be at ease and enjoy my time in this house without worrying about its maintenance and other things. Similarly, I can enjoy my car without attaching myself to that abstraction. There's nothing wrong with having a good car and a good house. It all depends on what is our relationship with it. To transcend that limitation in an object, one has to move inwards and first transcend one's own limitation, the idea that I am this limited mind body organism only. And I have seen that people who gain this understanding actually take very good care of the body and the mind. Then the people who are attached and say, no, I am the body and I am the mind. For that, silence is essential. To understand love, silence is essential. Because we cannot think our way into love. Silence doesn't mean shutting down the content that is arising. On the contrary, it means allowing everything with love and compassion. It means slowing down to be able to see what is going on. When we are in a hurry, we see people, we see objects, we see things. When we slow down and be totally attentive, we see only the one as the source and substance of what appears as many. When Moses climbed up the hill and saw God, he asked, he said, "What should I say to these people? What should I say? Who did I meet?" And the reply came, "I am that I am." All right. We can take up a few questions. So you can raise your hand and I will unmute you. Yes. Yes, Mandeep.
Yeah. Namaste, Jagjot.
Namaste. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Jagjot, thank you for this talk. Um, and also, listened to your talk on relationships yesterday, and I enjoyed them very much, and there were a lot of takeaways from it. About today's talk, when talked about Ramana Maharishi, he said that you should remain in independent awareness of I am, and when you fall out of it, you come back to I am as your permanent abode. My question is, how does one do that?
Yeah. You see, if I tell you a way to do that, that would be I am trying to be I am. It's just be here. So he would say either focus on the I or you can say I. I mean, he gave multiple methods, but if I if I tell you just be here, what is the method of being here? There is no method. There is no way. Just being here means just being here. What it means is being totally aware with an expanded awareness. And you know how to do that because that is your nature. That is where you rise, that is where you subside. So there is no method as such to be, you just be. And he multiple times he said that, your job is not to be this or that, just be. So, if I tell you that there is a practice, then the practitioner will come up and the practitioner will say, I have the perfect method. And that itself can cause this separation. So just be here means just be here. Being here means being with the I am or being the I am.
Jujut, perhaps that's easy for someone and at an advanced stage as you are.
No,
Uh, but
let's do it. Let's do it right now. Let's just be very still, you and me, and just tell me what thought right now are you experiencing?
nothing.
Exactly, that is it. So you are aware of my words as they are reaching you.
Mhm.
Are you trying to understand the meaning or are you just listening right now?
I'm just listening.
Yes, that is it. It is so simple. Actually, it's nothing complicated. This total awareness, where you're not thinking, we're not analyzing, we're simply being receptive, is I am.
Okay. Would you forgive me if if I say to you some of the techniques I have uh, tried to try to apply?
No, of course not. It's not a problem. Yeah, tell me.
Okay, I because I'm a voracious reader, so I
Yeah,
read a lot. So I was reading some years back. I wrote a book by Robert Adams. I forget the name of the book, Silence, perhaps.
I see. Okay.
Okay, and he recommended that uh, mornings when you get up and evenings before you retire, you know, I have a meditation of I am, which when you inhale, you say I, and when you exhale, you say am. So, don't you think this is a method of um, getting a hang of it or getting used to it?
You know, yes. Well, it is a method, but ultimately, when you keep doing that, you sort of start to lose the I and you sort of start to lose the am. So, what Robert is doing, he's tricking your mind into believing that you are practicing something. All he's telling, because here's the thing, the separate self wants something. It wants that one method, that one mantra. And, sometimes I see that people go to great heights to get the mantra, but that struggle they face, and when they get the mantra, they feel so grateful. But it's not the mantra actually. It's just that they have gone through so much struggle, and then they've got something, and that leads them to peace. So sometimes it happens this way that you know we can start with the breath, and we can say, inhale, I am the body. Like this was taught by Thich Nhat Hanh, and I have done this uh, um, for a very long time. Breathe in, I am the body. Breathe out, I release the stress. But as we keep on doing it, we do realize at some point the breathing is happening and breathing out is happening, and the concepts are going. There is no I doing the breathing. There is nothing being actually released because nothing was actually there in the first place. So, what happens is when there is a gap between the in breath and the out breath, that gap becomes vast. Do you understand what I mean when I say when the gap becomes? I'm not talking about the length of time. I'm talking
Yes, I
about
get
the
it.
recognition. The gap becomes vast. So ultimately, the recognition of that vastness, it is realized that that is the continuous substratum of in breath and out breath. Without that vastness, there would be nothing to actually hold the sensation of in breath and out breath. So, yes, Ramana Maharishi would say that in the indirect methods, you would meditate on an object. And I personally say that if that is helpful to you, then by all means do it. If that brings, the only measure is that the thinking begins to subside, the questioning begins to subside, and day by day you find yourself more relaxed, more peaceful. There is no other measure. So, if you meditate on an object, let's say a breath or a mantra, and it brings you that relaxation, then that peace, then that is the path that is destined for you. Ultimately, what it will do is it will dissolve the practitioner. It will dissolve all the sense of I am this and I am that. And it will leave you with the pure I. which is the source. And once you've dipped into that ocean, then that the I don't know what to call it. I mean, the remembrance or that flavor never leaves.
Mhm.
And it's very
Mhm.
easy to go back into it. So I personally, I say that if the method which Robert has suggested is actually benefiting you, then by all means you can do that too. Ramana Maharishi would say that direct path is more potent. He would say that go to the source directly, and he would say just go to the I directly. That means just be present here directly, or just be. So that way you can just, you know, uh, without introducing an object, you can directly go to the source. So that was his
Okay,
idea. Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
So, so the main crux is, so as I was listening to you, if it's though no thinking going on, no analyzation going on, no analysis going on,
Yeah.
then this is the felt sense of being there.
Exactly. Yes. Because
Is that what you're trying to say?
yeah, there is the machine, the objects, the arrangement, which you can say the senses, the body, the hormones, everything is acting in sync, but there is no mind to analyze. There is no mind to filter any experience. Oh, he said this. What did he mean by that? Did he mean this? Did he mean that? There is no analysis going on. It is the analysis which causes heaviness. In the absence of analysis, there's actually things are very light. So that is why, these meditations can, that's the purpose of these meditations. And they are sometimes helpful in the sense that they just stop the mind and you're just listening to the voice. You're not even trying to figure out what is being said. And I generally say, don't write anything, don't make notes, nothing, just listen and let that listening be pure. So when that listening is pure, that means no analysis is happening. That is the state of being.
Okay. So in our also in day-to-day conversations,
Yeah.
okay, if I'm listening with awareness,
Yes.
uh, without my analytical mind, ruling me or interfering, that is also pure listening and being I am.
Yes. That is that is presence while you're doing actions. That is what Ramesh called understanding in action. So now what happens is that you have recognized that gap between the two thoughts. You have recognized that you are not the limited organism, but the vastness. And now that vastness is carried on, that presence is carried on in your daily living, in your daily interactions. So, whatever happens, when you're interacting with the other person, whatever kind of interaction there is between the two people, good, bad, whatever, the mind does not work continuously in judgment. Good, this is bad, why are they saying this? It is just pure receptivity. So, pure receptivity actually brings peace.
In fact, I tried this today when talking to my brother,
Yeah.
okay, and it was a source of pure joy.
Yes, yes, it is actually. And it sort of creates that spaciousness in the other also, because when you're quiet and you're just listening, there is a recognition in the other person also. They can tap into that peace. Or I used to, I say that they can draw from your well without your resource getting exhausted. When it is the mind working, then your resource, mind is a resource which is getting exhausted. But presence can never get exhausted. Anyone can draw as much as they want, and your the presence will always be full. It is complete. Yeah.
So last question would be,
Yeah.
this is regarding inquiry.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Anamalai, so I believe also one of the students of Anamanashi, he said that uh, that you should stop the thoughts even before they're formed by doing an inquiry.
Mhm.
Okay, like um, wh- so where is this thought coming from? What is the source of these thoughts? Or
Mhm.
uh, who's the thinker of these thoughts?
Yeah.
There can be many varieties of
Mhm.
inquiry.
Yeah.
Would you subscribe to that?
Yes. You see, when we read about these sages and we are reading a translation, sometimes gets confusing. It feels like as if they are saying something else, but what he's referring to is the same thing what Ramana Maharishi said. But sometimes their language is so strong that it looks like an instruction, you know. So they would say, cut off the thought. But what primarily, as far as I understand, what primarily they are saying is just turn inwards. That means uh, the moment mind is working, because mind is dualistic, it is split, it will always create an object, the other, and then it will, operate from that, the other. So if a thought comes up, let's say, okay, he or she did something which was not nice, or this or that, in that, this whole subject object relationship is playing out. So what happens is, the moment the mind moment there is awareness and the mind turns inward, it is completely dissociating with the object, and it is turning inward into this I to see what is happening here or being here. In that moment, you are actually attending to the I. That is your being happening. So for me, it is just the same thing. So what happens is, in that movement inwards, when you attend to the I, the thinking gets cut off. That is why when we started the meditation today, I said that I am is the vertical thought, which means the moment you come back to the I, the thinking stops and you are just being.
Mhm. So that means that you do not raise an inquiry as such.
No,
You know,
no, the remembrance will happen. I would say the remembrance will happen and the inquiry will happen too. And the beautiful part of it is the inquiry happens. If you are on this path, the inquiry happens on its own. The focus shifts from the other to me, absolutely to me. And then the thought gets cut off.
mhm. So I would contemplate on it.
Yes, yes. In fact, you will see it in experience when that the situation, when it happens, you do come across it and you see that. All right. All right. We'll
Thank
take
you very
one
much.
question. Okay, thank you, Mandeep. All right. Chaitra, I'm trying to unmute you, but somehow I'm not able to. Let me try one more time. Okay, okay, Chaitra, will I'm trying to unmute you, but yes, somehow it's not giving me it's not unmuting you for some reason. Okay, I think let's I think we'll conclude for today, because I think it's over time, and we will take up the questions on Sunday, and I'll see you again. So let's conclude for today. So thank you all for being here, for your presence, and I wish you peace and happiness. Take care.